Hi everybody, my name is SHANTH ENJETI and you're watching SHANTH ENJETI Art. I wanted to let everybody know about the SHANTH ENJETI Art TeePublic store. I've updated the site with some new designs, including one of my favorites and one of your favorites as well, the Made with Liberty in the USA. That is available to get on a t-shirt for all of you guys who've wanted that for a very long time, as well as the Nosfero logo t-shirt, the SHANTH ENJETI Art crest t-shirt, which I love, the Speakeasy logo. So there's a bunch of new stuff there in the shop. Every bit of support you guys give this channel, whether it's my channel members, thank you again, or sending the super chats, buying the t-shirts, every bit helps me to do what I do, and I thank you guys so much for doing what you do. As always, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace, because that is what Shanth means. Thank you everybody. Now on with the show. What is up and happy Sunday, you beautiful people. I hope you're doing well. My name is Shanth ENJETI. This is Shanth ENJETI Art. And I have a big smile on my face because I looked down at the chat. I saw who was here. I saw Timmy Mello coming on in here. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat. Channel member Timmy Mello is in the house. It is great to see you, brother. And of course, my first channel member, Stephen Rockwood Drawing. The Alpha, the Omega. It is great to see you. And of course, always present is Mark's Music Obsession, who's been asking me, why are you streaming so late in the middle of the night? Things have been nuts, just in terms of scheduling and everybody, you know, family, blah, blah, everybody in the weekend. And yeah, so I said to myself this Sunday, I said, sweetheart, I'm going to do a middle of the day stream. And is that something that can work in our schedule? She said, just go for it. I've got stuff to do, and then we'll go, you know, meet up and go hit the grocery store, whatever we got to do after this. Green Laser, channel member Green Laser in the house. For all of you folks, and I hope I got everybody in the credits, but I was just updating the credits before the stream. That's another thing that that I've always got to remember to do. 6 people watching, 0 likes. Man, that is tough. That's tough. But it's great to see you here. I'm working on a piece today. I'm working on a painting, which is one that I've talked about a lot. You guys have seen me working on it a lot. And it is a piece for Michael Bancroft's The Lucent, which is one of my... he's one of my artist brothers. He's one of my favorite creators in this space. We both like bande dessinée. We have kind of similar angles on this stuff, and it's cool. It's cool to see. It's cool to see. You know, we had a conversation. Gosh, I want to say a couple of days ago, and we were talking about painting. I've had 2 conversations about painting this week, which is always a good week. Let me move the camera so it's a little easier to see you guys and see what's going on. It was really interesting because we were just talking about, you know, art stuff and the different things that we're into. Was talking about a Russian painter named Ivan Ivanovsky who did these incredible seascapes, which is a pretty big influence on this painting right here, particularly when we get into what I'm doing with the detailing in the water right there. See if I can get a good angle so you guys can see it. Yeah, it's a little bit better, but that's been a huge part. What is up? Yeah, actually, I'm doing better, but my voice is still a little shot, but I think that's just allergies and all of that kind of junk. You know, it is what it is. As it's been known to be said. Ironically, just as I got here the notification for this stream, I got another episode notification for crazy, dramatic Dogman horror storytelling. Wow, I've totally got to share that YouTube link. There you go. You have one now. There you go. Look at all this stuff, man. You guys are great. Now, I'm doing much better, Tammy D. And Tim, by the way, Timmy Mello, how are you doing, my friend? I kept my word. After the last stream, I took care of business, and I want you to know that you were my thoughts and prayers about the sinus infection. So I hope you're doing much better, my friend. And it is great to see you here. Yeah, I'm actually doing better. You know, like I said, everybody in the house was at varying levels of sick. I feel like our kid is still trying to shake it a little bit, but you know, it is one of those things. You know, it's cold and flu season in New England. You know, and everybody's gonna get sick. And I will tell you, one of the things that's funny about this stuff is, if I watch a stream, ladies and gentlemen, if I watch a stream, my voice is all messed up, and someone talks about something and they're like going, oh, you know is a good example. People always say a lot. They just say like crazy. I will then have the hardest time of my life not saying that thing. It'll just come to the forefront. And I've joked about this, that we all have these ones that we do. One of my favorites is at the end of the day. That's where I started tricking myself into saying, or forcing myself to say, at the end of the day, it's night. It makes me laugh and chuckle a bit. And let me do this. This will be a little bit more fun here. Click on that. There we go. And let's zoom a little bit, shall we? Let's zoom a little bit on this thing, so you guys can see what I'm up to on this level. But yeah, I mean, it's a funny thing because, you know, that's just how those things get into our head. But I wanted to stream because I was thinking a lot about just the work, the things that we're doing in terms of artists, creators, and folks in this space. And I had a long conversation the other day with my brother from another mother, Nick, who lives in this area, and we were talking about positivity, staying in this zone of trying to be positive, and not even really trying, but so we're trying to not let negativity, in the sense of envy and anger and all of those things, consume your experience and drive your actions. How those little nerves and those anxieties come into everything. And we were talking about politics, and not the sense of, you know, who's running, but how easy it is to get sort of sucked into that kind of thing. And one of the things that kind of came up, and one of the things we were talking about, there you go. Oh my God, Sean, that's what I'm dealing with right now. Then you know. And we were talking about it, and the thing that really got me and got me thinking about this stuff was that I said to somebody, I go, you know, it's a very, it's not a productive thing. The best way I can put it. It's not a productive thing to get sucked into that stuff. And it is highly contagious. Highly contagious. And I was telling him, I go, I watch people like Bob Ross, and I watch people like the Townsends, who had a hilarious live stream the other day. Shout out to the Townsends. And people get angry about politics and get angry about all sorts of stuff. And that's cool. That's fine. People are going to have those moments from time to time. You got to kind of deal with whatever that is. And the thing that got me thinking about education, this is a long way around to get to a point, but it's a very important point. We were talking about a generation of students that we both taught around a particular time. I'm going to try to bring this closer to a landing. And we noticed, and this phenomenon that started happening, and I think it really is a generational kind of thing, which is, I need you to validate my anger. I am angry about this particular political thing. We'll use because the college is the best example. I'm angry about this particular cause of mine, and it's injustice, and I'm angry about it. And you go, well, sure, I understand that. And then people would become incensed. Oh, there's the link to the Still Fresh in Dark Waters, and he's got a lot of dramatic cryptid horror-based storytelling. Holy cow, guys. Make sure you check that out. And if there's one thing that is something that I've tried to focus a lot of time on, is not letting, not reacting and responding and trying not to, it's such an addictive sort of drug, not allowing myself to get sort of sucked into that. Now, I did all right with that as a teacher, but one of the things I ran into was when administrators came in, and it was essentially, you'd find yourself in situations where people are like, if you aren't angry about this, you should be. And if you aren't angry, you're not a good person. And what's unfortunate about that is it is incredibly hard in those situations, and we've probably all found ourselves in various versions of it, and why I'm here, why I'm in this space, is to say, no, I'm not. Absolutely not. And it's a kind of a strange thing, because the more work you do on that kind of stuff, I always think that the harder it is for people to necessarily understand the difference between people who are really, really angry or really, really frustrated or feeling all of these complicated things, and putting on the appearance of not being angry, putting on the appearance of that. And then I started thinking about that a little bit with my buddy Nick, and I said, you know what's weird? And stop me if you've heard this one. Stop me if this makes any kind of sense or whatever. When you're positive and enthusiastic, people are much more likely to assume that you're disingenuous than when you're angry and when you're incensed about everything. Because they see passion as truth and not performative. And they see passion and enthusiasm as performative and not truth. And that's a lot of conditioning, that's a lot of thinking, and you get to the point to where you start feeling as though, or I should say you start thinking, to use my vocab correctly, you start thinking, and you can get hopeless if you get yourself sucked into that the only way for people to believe a damn thing you're saying is for you to get pissed off, and for you to get annoyed. And one of the things I wanted to make sure I said, on this stream and when I was painting today is, do not let yourself buy into that logic. It's going to be frustrating. It's a lot harder than you can imagine. And it's so easy to just get angry, and just so that people will leave you alone, so that people will stop asking you, but it takes a lot of courage to kind of just go, you know what? I'm not angry. I'm not pissed off about this. Again, a perfect example. I know you want me to be angry at this particular racial group of people, but I actually am not. Can you live with that? Do you know what I mean? Can you live with the fact that I don't think every member of this particular group is a terrible person? Now, to me, that doesn't sound like a big ask. But I've seen it more and more, and it's extended into so many situations. But it is really this foundational thing, which is needing people to validate your hatred of a particular group of people, and it's just like, we've got enough of our own stuff that we've got to work through, our own anger, our own frustration, our own disappointment. And it's an exhausting thing, and I see so many people who are exhausting. What's up, Jimmy Reyes? Hey, Jimmy, I heard that you were about to hit 38K. Is that correct? Jimmy, let me know in the chat. Were you about to hit 38K, or have you hit it already, or what's the deal? Sorry, I don't mean to grill you as you come in and say, hola. That was terrible. It's like, happy Sunday. And I'm like, give me the answer. Oh my God. Sorry, Jimmy. Sorry. I hope you're having a wonderful day. What's up, Paulus Arts? Stopping by before I nap. Understood, Paulus Arts. Nap well. Let's see here. People have a hard time understanding sometimes because I'm like my dad, Frank. Yep, his name was Frank. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Yeah, and so you get to a certain point where you can move past like certain experiences. Someone will come up to you and they'll go, "But doesn't that make you angry?" And you're like, "No." You're $400 away. Jimmy, I just modded you. Can you drop the link to your campaign in the chat, please? And everybody check that out. Jimmy and I go way back, my God, to a job when I had twin newborns and I had my emergency appendix surgery. And yeah, and I went septic. That was not a great, that was a tough period. But I met Jimmy. We worked on a book called Starship Troopers together. And now we met up again, man. It's like the world. Andy Smith did the cover of my first professional job when I was 17. If I start looking at all of the weird connections and lines connecting me to this situation, it's a trip. There we go. Jimmy's got it in the chat, guys. Check out Dragon Rage right there. The link is in the description. It's on Indiegogo. Yeah, see, a nurse in the chat knows what I'm talking about. Tammy, you'll understand this. So I was x-rayed, or I can't really remember that much, but I was put in a tube. They scanned me, so I guess it was probably an ultrasound or a MRI, I don't know. I was diagnosed immediately, and then I was put in a waiting room, and they forgot about me, and I perforated. And I perforated for about, I think I was perforated for maybe, I was in and out of consciousness, but I think it was for about an hour before they got me back into surgery, and they were like, oh my God, I mean, I was green. It was not good. Had the same thing happen to me as a kid, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, that is why I think that, my father-in-law, my late father-in-law worked in the emergency room. And, Tammy, I know you were a nurse, and the amount of plate spinning you have to do and things you have to keep track of is unbelievable. CAT scan more likely. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I honestly can't remember. All I remember is being slid into this thing, and because they had given me pain meds, but then the pain started coming back, and then you'll know, Tammy, what this means. The pain just disappeared, and I went, oh no, because I come from a medical family, so I know what that means. And then it came back with a vengeance. So yeah, you do not want, when you have pain in your abdomen that moves down to your lower right quadrant, you do not, you need to get yourself to a hospital. And if that intense pain suddenly disappears, it means you've fully ruptured, and you are going to feel pain like you have never felt before very, very soon. So it is what it is. Oh, God, see, now I'm going to say that forever. Damn it. Damn you, Ethan. But no, much love, Ethan. You've had a freaking... Oh, man. Bless him. But it's one of those things for me where, you just... Life is wild that way. My brother, Rocky, who some of you guys are subscribed to his channel, thank you so much for being subscribed to his channel. He's just doing great work, and he did a stream with two of his buddies. No, you could, Jimmy, anytime. Oh, wait, shoot, my glasses just fell, Jimmy. You know what I'm talking about. Jimmy, do you wear glasses? I have to wear glasses now. I think we're about the same age. I'll one-up you. Yep, I had cancer as a child. Can anyone in the chat beat that? Well, I'll tell you this. One of my favorite students was just a terrific guy, and one of my daughter's best friends. They both battled pediatric cancer, and it's a tough thing, man. It definitely, it shapes you, it really does. It shapes you, and it's really is. And so I'm glad you're still with us, brother. I'm glad you're here, man. Yeah, but I mean, I've met some incredible people in my time, and who've overcome incredible things, and that's the stuff that really, really motivates you, is that. And then and also, it's not so much, the going through the stuff, which is one part of it, right? It's the how you come out on the other side. Do you come out on the other side with gratitude, or do you come out on the other side bitter and annoyed and angry? And I think it's normal to feel the full range of those things in the aftermath of stuff like that. But if you've done the work to get to the other side of it, if you've done the work to be incredibly appreciative of the things you have in your life, it can be, how do I put this? I'm at this point where I caught myself this past week or so getting into a zone of what's the word? Lack of appreciation. And I needed to get myself out of it, you know? And I was like going, okay, I got to get away from this stuff, because it's a very human thing for people to feel that. But when you're surrounded by it, it can, as you know, gosh, Michael was kind enough, Michael Bancroft, whose painting I'm working on right now, I should bring that up, was kind enough to share out there this favorite quote of mine by Marcus Aurelius, which is, the soul becomes dyed by the color of its thoughts. And when you put positivity around you and you also contribute to it, it's going to make you feel more positive. And on the same token, if you put a lot of negativity around you, a lot of, did you notice this person has got this and this person hasn't gotten this, and stuff like that, you'll start to feel those things. You'll feel those things come out of your mouth, and you'll go, what the heck is going on? And it's you know, gosh, you know, it's I saw that in academia, and I've realized that one of the coolest things about being Shanth Enjeti art and being just self-contained here is I get to dictate what the culture, quote-unquote culture, is in this space. And the culture, to me, is all about the positivity. That's what it comes down to. And again, give nihilism no quarter. So it's a militant positivism. Count my blessings, absolutely, Timmy Mello. On the bill of health I had as a child growing up, we take so many things for granted, but for those who are in trial are given strength to persevere and be rewarded with wisdom as a crown. You're absolutely right, 100%. Mark's Music Obsession, I don't know how people can do that, Tammy. Special folks, for sure. Yep. Surviving for 45 years. God bless you, Jimmy. I had to do my pediatric rotation on the child cancer floor. Yeah. Jimmy, I again, with 100% respect, I will say that you were asking me if anybody in the chat can beat it. That's the one thing that beats it, man, is the doctors and nurses who work in that space. Because we thought about this when one of my daughter's friends, and my son's friends too, by the way, I should say, was going through that. And then the parents too. It's terrifying, man. And we can bring something beautiful to this world, you know? We can bring beauty out there. We can celebrate it, and we can be positive. You guys have the opportunity, to back Jimmy Reyes's comic book. The link he has posted, Jimmy, if you would post it again. And that comic exists because of that story. That is the happy ending of the story. You know what I mean? That is the happy ending of that story. And you can be a part of it when you back that comic book. I'm a chronic pain person, I feel ya, and moved to the pill mill capital of the world, and I can't get you. I hear you. What's up, Diesel, my man? Well, slap me silly and call me Rhonda. It's me, matey Shanth. Diesel, much respect, brother. How are you doing? How are you doing, my brother? It's great to see you. Oh my gosh. How are things been? You guys put a big smile on my face. And yeah, so this is it. Jimmy Reyes just dropping the link, man. And thank you, Jimmy. And so yeah, so when I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Nosfero, which I started shipping out. You wonderful people are posting pictures of it on Twitter and sharing it out, which is fantastic. Thank you so much when you guys get it for doing that. And there'll be a second chance campaign. So what I did to kind of move myself out of that particular space is one of the things that's always kind of been there for me, which is I painted and I started writing and I got myself busy. And so again, one of the best things for me anyway, one of the best tonics, dare I say, for all of this stuff is not staying idle, is setting that goal and working on things, and also being really focused in what you're doing. Being really focused on it. Blessings to you, of course, Diesel. It is great to see you, man. And I think about that a lot, man. I think about that a lot because, it's when I'm looking at Nosfero 2, I love saying that, but when I'm looking at Nosfero 2, when I'm looking at Nosfero the Cryptwalker, and that book, the first book was very much about breaking the static friction. This character didn't exist. I was figuring out this character as I made the book because I like the process, to inform the story. And, to do another book, because the first book is a complete sort of complete story, to do another book, you're freed up in a lot of ways, and you can really push your creativity. And that's why I do what I do. That's what the passion is about. And so Nosfero 2 is titled Death Will Die. And it is an incredible story where I introduce people to the Marquis de Dracula, as opposed to Dracula. And it is my take on the Dracula character. And this guy, this vampire, this parasite of humanity, has opened a door that all of the evil, of the Neither, all of the Lovecraftian cosmic horror can come through. He's opened it and he's left it open. And a new character is going to be introduced. And interestingly enough, made not begotten in an interesting sense, who has been holding down that entrance by himself for many, many years. And the story is about what Nosfero does and the journey he goes on to shut that door and confront this character, the Marquis. And in addition to that, how flipping that whole thing on the head, on its head, which is flipping it and just saying, what do I learn being in this place of constant turmoil, constant threat, holding back, all of the demons from the human world, and doing so. What did I learn? What did I think? Did it make me stronger? Did it make me weaker? Did it leave me about where I started? And the answer to that question, which is kind of the point of that book, is what gets me excited about doing the next book, and it also fuels what I'm doing with these paintings, because I've been painting and trying to solve this incredibly lyrical, poetic book. The link for it's in the description. The Lucent 2 Painted Death. And I was talking to Michael about painting and this whole thing, and I was also talking to Eric Weathers about it. And I said, art isn't art is one of the weirdest things you can do, and it's very difficult to even justify. That's why you guys, we have to make something beautiful that speaks to you, but that's what makes you guys so important and so vital and so cherished in a space like Comicsgate, which is you guys fund these dreams, and we have to do the kind of skilled craft work, but also the poetry, the artistry that you can't really explain, those things that you can't really communicate, like why a particular musical composition affects you more than another one. And that's a big part of what we do. All right, my friend, grab your lunch. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Love to the family. What is up, Hostman's Lounge? How are you doing? I love that name, brother. That is great to see. I miss Socrates, but I'm down for it, man. That's great. It is great to see you. Happy Sunday, man. Happy Sunday. I know it's an early stream, but Mark's Music Obsession said to me in the comments of my last stream, another, in the middle of the night stream, and I thought, yeah, I'm doing too many late streams. I'll do one in the day on a Sunday. And I was feeling really positive about just, I really kind of took some time to be with the artwork. I, of course, was packing up boxes and reading some of these wonderful things. But I was just looking at everything that's happened in the last year and everything that we've accomplished. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, brother. And I was thinking about, just what a miracle it is to be able to make artwork and to be able to do these things. I know it's, again, I apologize for my... Well, maybe I should stop, actually, for my hokiness and stuff like that. But whenever I'm feeling down, whenever I've got, I find myself, just getting pulled into, nonsense, I always make sure I take responsibility to step back and kind of go, nah, man, this is not where the good stuff comes from. This isn't where the art comes from. And then I say to myself almost immediately after that, and I'm supposed to be putting that positivity out into the world. So it's not enough for me to just do this. A big part of what I do is time to put that positivity out. So I go, all right, let's stream, let's get the credits list updated, and let's get to work. That's the goal. There we go. The color's going to be a little bit better now. So that's what it is. Thank you so much, Tammy D. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. Yeah, the lounge is the channel, and a happy Sunday back. Thank you so much, Hostman. I appreciate that. Let's see. So great! I love that movie. Look at everybody's excited to see Tammy. There it is. Diesel's excited. Everybody's excited. Hail to you all. It's wonderful to see you. And, yeah, it's here's something, too, that I think is worth doing. So I was watching a stream the other night, and I was I was listening to Ethan talk about just the amount of work, his entire journey as an artist, what he took to get to where he's at. And I've also watched a great interview on Pete Zametti and his channel, which is great. If you don't know Comic Book Radio and Pete Zametti's channel, he's another half Asian Eddie, much like myself, and just an amazingly enthusiastic, positive, hardworking guy. It doesn't mean he hasn't seen things. It means that he just tries to keep it positive, grounded, and centered, because he's on this journey. You know, he's on this journey as a creator and as someone who's passionate about comics. And the thing that I was thinking about as I was watching all this stuff is that it takes so much skill and it takes so much craft to be able to work with and paint with the imagination. And it's a lot, and it's not something you can explain to a lot of people, but you do recognize it in kindred spirits of different skill sets and different craft. And when you think about somebody like Ethan, who's gotten to the level that he's gotten to with his work and what he's accomplished, there gets to be fewer and fewer people you can talk to, and fewer people who can even understand, what you're doing, and the level that it takes to kind of get there. And I thought about it. It was actually a really great stream. It's because I always appreciate, what he has to do, and certainly what he's done that's helped me as a creator just by him and John Malin stepping into this space. But it really got me thinking about the fact that, the fact that there's so much to appreciate in people out there, and you got to make sure you're doing that and putting that fuel in your tank. The shadowy figure in the upper right, I love that kind of extra detail. Oh, is it this figure right here, Mark, you're talking about? Is it this one? Nice. I'm glad you like it, man. Glad you like it. Yeah, it's those are all of this painting, the Lucent right here, is about 20 something paintings. It's about 20 paintings in one. And it's so great to be able to share this with you guys. I know a lot of people, and I get why, I mean, it makes total sense to me, can't paint and talk, or don't like to paint and talk, particularly on finishes. Most people are a little bit more comfortable on sketches, I find. But I'm really glad that you guys watch me make all of this work. I made a joke on Twitter because Razorfist was talking about his character, and Razorfist was kind enough to be the the hand model when I did my let me see if I can get this to work. When I did my comic book cover for his, or not cover, his pinup, that's going to be a poster for Ghost of the Badlands. And I think he said it's going to be available through his publisher once he gets it fulfilled. But he had this this particular Model 3 Bergman that I couldn't find good reference of somebody holding with black gloves on, and so he took some photo reference for me. So he's my favorite hand model as it stands. I'm my most frequent, but I did not have the particular stuff I needed for that. So yeah, let's take a look at this, guys. Let me see if I can... I'm going to move the camera down. I'm going to do an old-fashioned zoom on this thing. Nope, don't want that light on because it'll kill the color. There we go. Do you guys see what I mean? There's a lyrical quality for this. Oh, thank you, Hostman. I appreciate that, brother. Much love, yeah. Of the stuff that I've done in terms of my career, the stuff I've done in the Comicsgate and Iron Age space has been my favorite stuff, and it's the best stuff I've done, which you hope it's going to be that way, but I'm so proud of the CYBERFROG trading card. Really proud of the pinups I did for John Malin's next Visions book. I love the Beckoned Recourse cover. The link for that comic's in the description. Yeah, and I love the stuff I'm doing for Bancroft and for Eric Weathers over there, and of course the piece I did for Razor Fist. I've just been in a real zone with this stuff, which is weird because it's not as if I have a paint by numbers formula I use for any of this stuff. It's a state of mind, you got to be in. It's really a state of mind. And there really isn't any you can't have a clouded mind when you're doing this stuff. It's like trying to look through a foggy windshield. And you can't really do that. You got to be fully present. And that's why, people, when you look at artwork, I'm painting this stuff to be useful and profitable for the people who commission it. That's sort of the big thing. That's job one. But outside of that, if someone has this and they buy this original and they're going to be looking at it, or family members are going to be looking at it for the rest of their lives, you want it to be something that is a grace to wherever it is. Something that, people go to museums if they want to see it because it brings something positive to their life. Not because I'm so important, but because of what I laid down with the paint has some kind of connection and significance with people. And so that's really the goal when I'm working. Oh, Michael Deitch is in the house. How are you doing, Michael? Thank you, Michael. My goodness. Came in with a compliment. Thank you. I appreciate that so much, Michael. Really appreciate that. And, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Nosfero. It's the same thing with, there we go. It's the same thing with all of the stuff that I like that inspires me. And, it's doing this stuff. So let me talk a little bit more about, where Nosfero is going. It's still shipping. If you haven't got yours, you have by no means should you be concerned. I'm still packing up boxes. It's just me. It's just me doing it. And then my wife is handling the shipping labels because I have to do it because there's certain things I need to do in each, box, and that can't be done without me. But Nosfero 2, I am so excited to get, to really get into full, full speed on it. And there we go. I'm excited to get, go full speed on it and get crazy on it because the story is so fun. And I've just been, I do this thing where whenever I'm working on one book, I don't let myself think about the next book. So I've got all this creative energy, and then it just will happen, when it's time. And there you go. I hate hands. Drawing them, yes, like a cartoon is harder than drawing them anatomically correct. Yeah, you're right. Hands are just difficult any way you slice it, And yes, Tammy, smack that like. Thank you guys so much. Those that don't understand what anatomically correct are those who point to the wrong side of their face when you tell them, they have something on their cheek. Well, that might be me. What's up, Fordo? How are you doing, my friend? It's great to see you. How are you guys doing? Yeah, I had an interesting thing with this stream. So I posted it on Twitter, and for some reason the thumbnail or the hashtag was marked as may contain sensitive content. So I'm hoping that we're not in a situation where anytime anybody tags something, Comicsgate or whatever, that's happening. I don't want to stress people out about that because it could just be that the image generator algorithm saw something on here and it just didn't know what it was. But I was like, ugh, it was annoying. But I wasn't going to fool with the thumbnail because I need to get painting. And I just updated the credits for this stream. I'm hoping I got everybody's name on there. If not, I will get it done. There we go. But I'm not painting on frame, guys. Jeez, look at this stuff. Ain't that something? There we go. Let's see here. Yeah, it's let me see if I can make this work here. Yeah, it's a heck of a thing. Oh yeah, so and getting back to the painting and getting back to the stuff that motivates me. One of the reasons and that I was so inspired by the stream I was watching that Ethan was doing, I don't know what night it was because all the nights blended together in this space. We're just working 24 hours a day. But he was doing a stream and he was talking about like what it takes for him to do shows and to generate an audience and what he needs from the people that he brings on his shows to be entertaining to continue to do this. And I really love when he articulates that kind of thing, because I think it's taken for granted, but Ethan can raise so much money for himself. He can do all of this stuff for himself. And his shows, people are going to watch them when he's by himself. Do you know what I mean? People are going to watch this stuff when he's by himself. Hey, what's up, awesome one? How are you doing? And thank you so much, my friend. That's right. I think you're coming. Yeah, you never know. You never know. Oh, no, you're killing me. It's so early in the day. And it's a funny thing because, you know, I think everybody, most of us can't imagine being in a space where we have that level of charisma and we have that level of skill and we have that level of generosity for the people around us. And one of the things that it's always good to remember, and I was probably in need of a really good, you know, I try never to be actually, but a really good reminder of that is when you're trying to make something entertaining and move books, that is something that very few people have the ability to do. When I'm in this space, I've had people come on and be, you know, on my channel and they sell a couple of books and they're like, wow, for your audience size, I moved a lot of books. It's a very difficult thing to do, but to do it on the scale of somebody like Ethan and be able to do it for other people and so many amazing creators who've proven themselves in the industry is an incredible thing. Those are the heavy hitters that he's got around him, and then people who can be entertaining and great on stream. And I think it's it really got me. I appreciate him generally speaking, but it got me really appreciative of the stuff he does in this space. And I remember thinking, yeah, just felt really really grateful for him and grateful for all the stuff he's done, and for me specifically too, but for all the folks who are in this space. And I could say that about so many people, man. I could say that about so many people who bring positivity out there and create this space. John Townsend's another really good example. The Grim Life Collective are a really good example. And I think that when you've got that big of an audience, when you've got that many people watching you, like with the Townsends, they've got, what, 2,300,000 subscribers? It's got to be a weird space. It's got to be weird to have a lot of people around you, and you're trying to focus on spinning all of these plates. I know just on my space of it, you've got 1,000,001 things you're spinning, and people around you, you can't even imagine what, you know, you can't let yourself get caught up in what people are thinking about these things. And yet I'm sure John Townsend's continually confronted by that, you know, the only thing that will ever keep you sane, going back to what I was, you know, saying, you know, get at the start, the only thing that'll ever keep you sane is the work. Because being in your head and thinking too much and worrying about what everyone is doing is going to be poison, and making the work. Look at what I'm doing right now. When you guys are watching me do this work, I don't think that's in focus actually. Hold on a second. Make sure that's in focus. When you guys are watching me do this work, if you're watching me make a line, right? Then let me see if I can make sure that's in focus. Is that me I'm changing the focus on, or is that the painting? That's weird. What am I on? Yeah, I'm on the painting. Maybe I'm just so close it doesn't make that big of a difference. No, not the gamma. Saturation, a little bit better. There we go. And now let's look at using manual focus. Is that a little better for you guys? I think that's a little better. What's up, Simply Green? How are you doing? Yeah, therein lies the difference between likes and interaction. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Ethan has the gift of gab. He and you can hold my attention, where some others having me tap out in 30 minutes. Well, wow, that's a high praise compliment. Yeah, Ethan can definitely hold my attention. As I've told people, I got into Comicsgate through Ethan and the Fandom Menace, and I didn't know his work before I came in here. I kind of dipped out of mainstream comics, with, you know, Image, so I wasn't going to the main publishers at that point. So I know I've heard of him, and I know I've heard of CYBERFROG, interestingly, back in the early days of indies. I think that was around the time a lot of people were doing indie books, and I did the job that Andy Smith did the cover for, the comic book Threshers. but so I was actually a fan of his sense of humor and him as a streamer. And then when I started seeing his artwork, I went, my God, this guy he's an unbelievable renderer, and he's into Brian Bolland and all these artists that I like and respect. And it's similar with Aaron Lopresti and a lot of those guys. You know, that's the fun thing. Aaron likes a lot of the artists I like. He likes Dave Stevens, the Rocketeer creator. He likes Bernie Wrightson. He likes Frank Frazetta. He likes all of those folks. And so it was just really cool to see that stuff. But it is not a common thing to have both the gift of the gab and that level of high level of proven talent. I mean, when you think about the combined experience and knowledge base of people who are working on or who are on Comicsgate Kings and who are, you know, around in this space, like, you know, got Graham Nolan and co-creating, you know, Bane, you know, you've got Art T. Bear. I was looking at my Marvel's Covers Artist Edition. It had the new Fantastic Four cover that Art T. Bear did the inks on, and then I went a little further in, and there was some other cover that I love that Art T. Bear also did the inks on, and his black and white comic book is just great. So yeah, I mean, there's some amazing people here, and you guys are getting to interact with us and be here and watch us do this stuff, and we're so grateful to have you guys here. But there aren't a lot of it's, how do I put this? Let me give you no advice. Let me give you this one thing. 40% Zed, how are you doing? Oh, am I too far away? Hold on, am I too close or too far? Is this better? Or is it worse? Let me know. Or is the volume just bad? That could be it too. Also, hail to you, Zed. Let me know if that is better. The first CG book I got, I think, was from Vinny, and he got canceled for supporting Liam. So there has been, breakups going on. Yeah, I mean, gosh, going way back. Yeah, I've been here since about 2018, so none of this is particularly new when people have their stuff, but this is the thing I would say, right, is keep that positivity coming into your system however you have got to do it. And by the way, when you see somebody in the middle of this stuff and they're dealing with it, you know, just send them love, send them positivity, you know what I mean? Like, because it is exhausting. It's exhausting to sustain all of this stuff, and anybody working, you guys know, you follow us long enough, you can practically tell when we're sick or we're exhausted. It's like, we wear it on our face. There's nothing, you know, we can do to hide that, you know? Oh, I wear headphones. The volume is fine. I can turn it up, but I have YouTube and my PC at max, and I can barely hear you sometime. Hang on a second here. Let's see if I can do something that probably won't work, but let's try it. I also sometimes talk too quiet, so that's part of it. Let me see here. Audio. Where is it? Sound. Okay, that's the input. I don't want to blow this and make this too loud. Let me know if this is too loud, guys, in the chat. Is that too loud? Or is that better? I don't know if that's going to be better or worse. Don't suddenly crank it up or my stream will blow me and my mom out of the room. Sorry. I tried not to. Hopefully I did not make it horrendously worse for you. Let me know. It's better. There you go. I know. I was just picturing that. Was it an RCA ad? What was the ad where the guy had the speakers in front of him and his hair was blown back? It was craziness. But yeah, I had that image in my head, Mark, when you said that. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's a really beautiful lyrical quality. No real differences to me, Mellow. There you go. No real difference for you. Good. You guys are cracking me up. Damn me. Huh? What? I got it. Totally got it. Maxwell, that's what it was. You got it. Yeah, that was the one. Excellent. Yeah, Maxwell, or Maxell, sorry, not Maxwell. Maxell, so real. That was it. That was the ad. Oh, thank you. That was going to drive me crazy. That's another great thing about the chat. They'll remind you as you start to forget things. Enrique Cabrera, sorry, my glasses just fell, Enrique. If you were given the chance to do a remake or rebirth of any corporate-owned IP in your style, What would you pick? I can't even imagine. Wow. That's a good question. I'm just trying to think if there's... Let me look over at the stuff I have around me and see if there's anything I want to do in my style. Because, see, I get excited about seeing stuff in other people's style. Walt Disney's interpretation of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's something I'd like to illustrate and push and do some fun stuff with. Does that make sense? Matrix. Oh, that's a cool one too. Yeah. What is this funny bookman thing? I'm in the next room and I can hear you just fine, says my wife. Everybody give my wife a shout out in the chat. Everybody give Mrs. Enjetti a shout out. She's in charge of all the labels and making sure I've got all the labels I need in the list of the next boxes I gotta pack. So it is great to see. I don't know if I've seen her in the chat in a long time. That just put a big smile on my face, sweetheart. Thank you, dear. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah, she's awesome. She's a real one. For sure. There we go. But yeah, I mean, to do the kinds of things we have to do here with this work, I don't know. I enjoy the fact that I get to paint the best work of my career here in this space. I get to paint stuff that is not even possible. Hail, Mrs. Shanth. I love it. Everybody saying hello. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I love that stuff. Ever read the short comic compilations? Yes, and I love those, by the way. I love these. Everybody's saying hello. Everybody's saying hello. Hello, Miss Shanth. Hello, Mrs. Shanth. There you go. Look at this. Wonderful chat. Oh, my gosh. Most audiophile nerds like me have that print somewhere. Yes, you've got to have that print somewhere. The Maxell print, the commercial, yeah. The advertisement. That was great, man. That's great stuff. And, you know, only in this space, this goes back, to me anyway, this goes to the Count Your Blessing stuff. The story I'm telling in Nosfero and the story I'm going to tell, which is I'm even more, I never thought I'd say this, even more excited to tell in the second story, Nosfero Book 2, another self-contained story, is this stuff I would never be able to do if it wasn't for Comicsgate. I'd never be able to do it if it wasn't for your boy Zach and John Malin coming in and saying, well, okay, well, I'm going to do this. You've challenged me. I'm going to do this, you know. And then, you know, Ethan taking it supernova with CYBERFROG. You know, it's amazing. There's so many aspects to this that are a blessing and things that I'm fortunate to have that I did not build, but I can build upon. And so if I was to give anybody, here's a little bit of contextual advice, but it's not actual, you know, meant to be advice. If someone coming into this space were to ask me, how do I stay appreciative with this space? Like, how do I stay appreciative? Oh, my brother, speak of the devil, my brother was just calling me. How do I stay appreciative in this space and keep my appreciation up? Here's my answer for you. Build a fan base on your artwork alone and on your own work alone. And don't tell anybody that you are Comicsgate. Don't introduce yourself to this audience. Don't not introduce yourself to this audience. But just put your work out there and try to fund a comic or crowdfund an art book or anything on Indiegogo. And take a really good look. See if it funds first. And if it funds, take a look at your numbers. Then come into Comicsgate and launch something. And look at the difference. That's when you're going to realize, I've always been able to fund my art books, but I've never funded anything to this level. That's 100% because of the support and the folks that I've met in this space, the appreciation they've had, whatever size, for what I'm doing. That's why this stuff is here. And it's because you guys had this stuff put in front of you and you took it to your heart and said, I want to see this, you know, book and I want to see where this goes. I'm doing this unbelievably antiquated, let's see if I can get that to work there. There we go. I'm doing this unbelievably antiquated and classical illustration style on this book. And you guys have supported it. You guys have made it happen. And you should feel very excited about it. and we're just getting started. There's gonna be a second chance campaign for Nosfera 1. There's going to be an opportunity to buy, however Michael decides to use this, to buy this for the Lucent. Eric Weathers' poster book for Battle Brick Road 2 is going to have a beautiful painting in it of Thea Gale, the main character in his book Battle Brick Road 2. And let's do this. What's up, Charlie Stevenson and Odin? How are you guys doing? My God, it's been a minute. It's great to see you guys. That's what I get when I stream in the middle of the day. I get to see people I haven't seen forever. Let's see. Found it. Let's let it all fall down from the Matrix Series 2. There you go. In all things, give thanks. Amen. Yeah. Shanth Enjeti art. Are you going to open commissions anytime soon? I've been knocking an idea for a piece around in my head for you to draw. Wow. Yeah. Mark reached out to me about something. So I'm gonna, once I free up all this stuff, I will definitely let you guys know. I will absolutely let you guys know. So let's zoom way out for a second here. Let's see if how much stuff I can fit on this screen. And I'm going to check my zoom levels on this to see if I've got you guys. Okay, good, perfect, we're there. So I'm going to see how much of a bird's eye view I can give you of this painting here. There we go. This right here, what you were just watching me detail. What is up, Michael? How are you doing? It is great to see you, brother. Oh my gosh. Some of these names I'm recognizing from comics I've packed up, so hopefully I'm correct and people are getting notifications. We update your tracking number. If you haven't got a tracking number update, you don't need to worry. I haven't gotten to it yet, but it's so great to see you guys in the chat. But this right here, this is what we're doing in this space. Let me rotate it around. Let me just rotate it around so you guys can see the other half of this painting. This is the craziness. This is what the Lucent is doing for me here, doing to me here. Is just trying to get the sense of the stone and the texture and the churning water and the waves. Do you guys see all that? And then all of the kind of poetic intensity and, the things that have to be, on point, but also keeping it very lyrical. You know what I mean? Oh no, I never get a notification for you anymore, but did today. Excellent. Yeah, just make sure you hit that bell, and hopefully it'll start coming through. Yeah, I have a request in already. That's right. I've got it put aside. So yeah, 100%. Yes, I found it. Let it all fall down from Matrix Series 2. There it is. Let's see, where are we? Michael, hello. Just finished shaving off most of my Santa beard. Well, sometimes you got to do it, right? Hail Odin, Bancroft shared some love for your Twitter art page on his stream last night. So there you go, Odin. Yeah, Bancroft's great at that. Holy hand grenades, that looks amazing, Sean. Thank you so much, man. Asher Sean. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And thank you, Odin. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I want to make sure that when people see, people don't, all this stuff, when we talk about people outside of things and where they are, nobody had ever seen, something like, let me turn this off for a second, see if it adjusts. There we go. Nobody had ever seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles before. When it came on the scene, people saw it and went, wow, this is amazing. That's our job. We're in the wow business. Nobody had ever seen The Rocketeer before Dave Stevens illustrated that amazing, pulp masterpiece that it is. And when people came into and saw that stuff, they came into the space, and it was good for everybody in the space. And it's like they say, a rising, tide raises all ships. But I would also say that when you see a bunch of people bringing their A game, it inspires other people to do the same. And so for me, that's a big part of what I'm doing here, is I want someone who comes in the space to go, holy cow, that's possible here? I want to bring more people in. That is my big goal here. What's up? Happy Sunday, Agent Zero. It's great to see you. I think a lot of people are waking up to the day, which is good to see. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday and is having a wonderful Sunday if you've been up since the early hours. And so you can really see, when you see me working the way that I'm working right now, you can really see my comic book background in this. You can see me with a very, I'm very much inking with paint. That's been a big part of it, And so much like what I was saying about try launching a campaign and successfully funding a campaign where you do all your own promotion, you don't benefit from this Comicsgate space before you come in here. Sometimes that could be really useful. I know it was for me. And then I think the other aspect of it is, when you come into this space, don't ever let up in building your own channel and doing your own channel. It's so easy to get tired, and it's okay. I think John Malin was saying the other day, if you need to take a break, take a break. Don't burn out and lose your mind. Just take a break. But you do have to make sure that you're thinking about the production value. I was watching some of my old, and also being, having streams, doing any streams. But I was looking at some of my old videos, and the production value of things like the Super Chat cheerleaders, or the opening of the show, or the music that I've picked, and the cameras that I use, or the software I use to show this stuff. All of this stuff has been a learning experience, going from zero and trying to pick this stuff up. But I did have, the Malin method as outlined by John Malin to look to for how to do it. Where's my yellow tube of paint, he wondered. Dang. Okay, it's here. This is like, this is male refrigerator blindness or something, because it's got to be right here. All right. Blue, red, green, yellow ochre. Did I put it down here? Or did it fall? Oh, it fell. I bet you it fell on the ground. Nope. What the heck? Okay, it's a tube of paint. It's not like I lost an email or something. Ah, here we go. Watch the boomerang. It happens. The Rippaverse inspired me more than CG, because CG makes me think I need to get better. The Rippaverse, however, jeez. Oh my goodness, you guys. You guys are terrible. Here's the craziest thing about it, right? How's this one for a weird one? Gosh, what's a channel that really inspired me? Well, they all did. You never know how things are going to affect you, or what's going to lead to you being here. And so I'm about to share with you guys a very painful truth. Very painful truth. Are you ready? Here comes your painful truth. I would not be here doing this and having met all these amazing people if it wasn't for Kathleen Kennedy. Ponder that for a minute. Feel the horror. If Star Wars hadn't been destroyed, I wouldn't be here. Yes, just don't boomer and paint over your painting during a sleepless night. Yeah, that has happened. I've gotten better at that. But I want you guys to think about that for a minute. If it hadn't been for it wasn't Ethan's, this really could keep me up nights. It wasn't Ethan's comic book artwork or Comicsgate in its early incarnations of the criticism aspect of it. It was the criticism of Star Wars that brought me here. That blows my mind. Yeah, the longer you are away from, the tie that binds. You're right, Odin. It's totally true. You guys are cracking me up. Miss Saren, laugh out loud. Painful truths aside, that looks gorgeous. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me see here. I blame Az and his review of Batwoman. There you go. There it is. Yeah, it's so true. It's a very strange thing. It's a very strange thing, and think about all of the, my buddy Rocky did a great stream on his channel where his childhood friends from middle school who used to swap comics with each other when they were, going to school, like, oh, you don't have this issue, and collect comics together. They did a stream together. They're all in their 40s now, and they hadn't really gotten together to talk comics. And him getting onto YouTube and talking comics inspired them to come on his stream, and they did this really great stream about their excitement, looking at the books and reliving those memories and all of that stuff. And without this technology, without me harassing him, I'd like to think, if he's out there on the West Coast. What's up, Grey Wolf Graphics and Comrade Sammy? How are you guys doing? If it wasn't for that, you had to remind. I'm sorry, Mark. But if it wasn't for, me and Comicsgate, and then, of course, the Fandom Menace and the High Council and all of that crazy stuff, right, that led to, me being here. If it wasn't for all of that, my buddy Rocky wouldn't have gotten on YouTube. Maybe he wouldn't have had this idea to do a stream with his childhood friends from, I think, when he was growing up in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. And he can correct me on that. I think it was when he was in Huntsville. And And they got together, and it was like the years fell away, and it was so cool to see. And that's what we're doing here. Like, I like to think about Comicsgate, and I like to think about all of these creators who've come into this space, and try to, for me at least anyway, try to take a long view of all of this stuff. A long view of all of this stuff. Where people are now, and the things they have to go through, and the bumps in the road and all that other stuff. Those are all things that if they're meant to sort out, they'll sort. You know? And that stuff will be there. The thing that's going to be the through line through all of that is continuing to make the best work you can. That's the only through line that counts. You know? That's the only through line that counts. And that's the one that if people focus on that, they'll be more centered and they'll be in a better place. The longer you're away from the pencil, the greater that reset anxiety, yes, it's the same with streaming, sets in on sketching when you're dealing with creative block. And boy, am I in a block. Excellent, yeah. And by the way, here's the greatest thing about creative block, Timmy. This is the secret. You can't think your way out of it. You have to act your way out of it. So a lot of people say, I got to think and then I'll be able to draw. And I always say draw and then you'll be able to think again. So that's all you got to do. Just move your pencil. Even if it's to scribble, and your creative block will start to melt away. It's a great thing. You know? Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The thing that got me into comics was that Goosebumps episode where the comic nerd meets superheroes in real life. Before that, it was cartoons, even just characters were just cartoons. Yeah, even comic characters were just cartoons. Gotcha. Yeah, I think that was it for a lot of people. Goosebumps was even the old TV series, as I would think of it, but Canadian series was something that I know my son was obsessed with. He loved that show when he was a kid. And Goosebumps has started so many people on the road to reading. You just don't know what positive impact you could have when you put something positive out into the world. You'd never know. Or if you put laughter out into the world. I mean, there was nothing that was cool about, the early sort of the Fandom Menace stuff is it was a good time. It was a good time. It was just people hanging out and laughing about these things instead of being like, oh, everything's awful. What's the point? Why bother? It was just laughter. And laughter is a great, great healer, and it is a great spiritual, re-energizer, man. It helps you. And, when I start to feel, empty about things, I take a moment and I try to get myself, into that space because I want to bring the best I can to you guys. I want to bring, the best artwork and the most positivity, and particularly with this stuff. I've got X amount of paintings, books, art in me, and I want to make sure I make all of them count. Because and that's why I decided to tackle such a nightmarishly complicated composition for this. And Michael's just been great about it too. He's just like, take what time you need, man. I know it's crazy. Sorry, Itchy Trigger Finger fired off a round before the gunpowder was fully stashed into the musket, so to say. I understand. Michael Dice says, there's always been movements in the arts. When exciting art music is happening, it catches fire. Cross-fertilization, ideas for creators, enthusiasm with the public. I know, and I love it, man. I feel very... this is the other thing, too. I've been saying lately that we're in the late 70s, where there was just this kind of... everything got very static. Everything ground to a stop. And breaking the static friction is one of the most difficult things to do when that creative vitality is gone. But once you start to get the thing moving, it's easier to keep moving it and then pick up speed than it is to get it from zero to moving. And so we've got this moving. We've got an engaged audience. We've got people who are telling other people. That's the biggest thing you guys do. Telling people, have you seen this book? Oh my gosh, this book's launching a second chance campaign. And we've got some great folks who are practicing what they preach by promoting work and doing great work themselves and spinning a lot of plates. Man, I love it. I'm still using Goosebumps for inspiration. Looked at the game for chase sequencing. Very cool. Yeah, you know what's funny is there was a ill-fated video game studio in Rhode Island, and Todd McFarlane and R.L. Stine were both involved in it, so they were coming in regularly to this space, which was crazy to think about. I told my son that. He was blown away. Goosebumps was one of those early books that got my mind into the horror genre as a kid. See? I've heard that from so many people. Hello, Shanth! Chicken. Thank you. I always love to see it. And hey, chat. You're killing me. See, how does anybody see that? and not think about Chick-fil-A. Is there a Chick-fil-A one? Can we get a Chick-fil-A in there? And it's great to see you, Blue Boy Comics. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. A wonderful Sunday. My goodness. But you know, it's like one of the books I was looking at the other day. I was looking at several comics, but one of them was what's it called? Neverwhere by Richard Corbin, which is sitting next to me. I was looking at Omega Storm. And then what was the other thing I was looking at? I was looking at the Rocketeer, but it wasn't that. Oh, I was looking at the collected Todd McFarlane Spider-Man only series. So that would be Spider-Man 1 to 16. And some of the crazy compositional stuff he was doing with that. It was awesome. Oh, my glasses just fell down again. I think I heard someone say that without conflict there is no life, no innovation, no recourse. Yeah, there's certainly with no energy, no passion. Breaking the hold of incumbent power takes time. Yes, it does. There were quite a few people dabbling in games in the early days from other disciplines in the point and click heyday for in the point and click heyday for writers. Yes, understood. Goosebumps are cheesy to read now with the odd creative gems, but they're great reads for kids, and that's who they're for. You're so right. Maybe a stupid question, if you'll forgive me. What will the orientation of this amazing painting be when you're finished? That is up to Michael. We've had discussions about it just for fun, and it's a little bit of a choose your own adventure in that sense as a painting. But he actually floated out the possibility of, what if the spine is in the middle and it's on front and back? So yeah, he's got a lot of wild ideas for where we can go with this thing. And I leave that up to him. My goal is to make it work in both directions. That's what I'm shooting for. So we will see. And I'll show you one of the fun little color things that I've been planning for this piece, but I'm going to see if I can pull it off on stream because I really want this to work. There is this really great sweet spot of green that is not it's not overly chalky or pastel-y, which means it has so much white the color isn't vivid, and it's not overly bright. It's not overly lurid in that sense. Like, it's not screaming, but its impact when you put it on a grayish kind of blued out ground can be substantial. And I've been planning to bring that into the moon right there. And I think I'm going to do it right now just because I want to see what happens. So let's see. I'm mixing it up. Mixing up the color. Let's get that in there and I'll show you what I mean. Let's see if this works. I'm a little worried I got my paint a little too thin there. So let's just see what happens. Move my sleeve and move this so I don't cover it up with my hand. Can you guys see that? There we go. There we go. I don't want that to be the entire thing. I want it to fade out. I'll leave a little bit of those worms right there because that's what's going to create the impact and the power of that color. If it's just by itself, it's not going to have that. It's not going to make that edge. But let me see if you guys, I don't know if you guys can see it, so I'm going to tilt it up towards you, let it focus a little bit. Do you guys see what I mean? Right in there. We're going to make that happen. And it's just going to give it that little extra punch. Do you know what I mean? That little extra punch that's going to make it all the stronger. Now, here's the next part of this. See how this goes. Now I'm going to take that yellow, the same yellow I mixed into the green, because if you reset too many colors, your painting won't hold together. If you can't just add a bunch of random tubes of paint. You want to use as few, you want to use one blue, one purple, and then think about if it's really necessary to add in a second green color to your palette, all that kind of stuff. You have to really know what you're doing. Limited palette is really the best way for beginners to work. So I'm going to mix up a yellowish white. Let me rotate this around because I got to rotate my paper. Sorry if anybody just got motion sick there. Okay, there we go. You guys can see that. And now I'm going to bring that in. There we go. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that that contrast right in there. That intensity. Now, I don't want it to go all the way up. I want it to go right in there. There we go. And now that's going to start to make that impact all the stronger. And so now I've got some really dynamic colors starting to happen into this thing. And that's the goal. You know, the goal is to kind of let the colors have space. Have space to kind of perform. And do what they need to do, you know? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I actually think that's true. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I watch Bob Ross a lot. Big inspiration, man. 100%. Yeah, Bob Ross is undefeated. What's up, Crenshaw? How are you doing? Hail all, good Sunday to you, Shanth. I'll be lurking while doing some kitchen chores. Understood. Understood. Lurk away. Lurk away. Absolutely. But it's you've got this this sort of depending on how you use it, a blank page is this infinite canvas on which you can kind of just project and dream into, I should say. You know, it's like, I think of it like a movie screen, maybe. That's why I think of that term. But it really is, what could I do on this page? And whenever I do something that I think, I don't have a budget, you know, like that I have to worry about. I do have a budget I have to worry about, that's for sure. But I don't have a budget in terms of how big I can make the sets and that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I have to basically have a job. What's up, Sark? How are you doing? Yes, happy little trees. That's the goal. That's the goal. I have an opportunity to just make things happen on this that you maybe haven't seen before, or that you haven't seen in a while. And it is so fun, guys. It is so fun to do this stuff. And I just want to make sure that that when you guys get this, and certainly when Michael gets this, that there's this beautiful lyrical quality to it, you know. And like the way that the worms that have already been established here are just kind of, you know, coming into the back area of this, and it's kind of like it's pushing the green. It's like they're complements that slowly roll into each other. It's really pushing that green and making it stronger. And well, that's a perfect. There you go. Painting is many things, and it's a really great metaphor for life, because they're very analogous. That if you have too much of the same color, the color makes no sound. It can't react off of everything. And if you have too many of the same people, the same personalities, the same whatever, then things can't have any kind of energy, any kind of, you know, reactivity to it. But the thing is, it's not difference for difference sake. It's got to be different and compatible. And the best way I would describe it is for anybody who's an artist, for anybody who's a creative, and anybody who's in this space, right? Hull integrity is really important. So if you've got a plane, you want to make sure its hull integrity is great. But if the hull integrity of the airplane is wobbly, which is to say, if the person is wobbly, and what you try to do, like personally, like I think of myself in this case, if you're feeling wobbly and shaky, the worst thing you could do is take the plane higher and slam on the throttle, because you're going to make it harder for it to hold itself together. Sometimes you got to take that plane down a little bit. Sometimes you have to land it, get it sorted before you can go. And we get these chances over and over and over to see how high we can fly and at what speed and what velocity. And sometimes we have to check and go, okay, maybe I need to reset. Maybe I need to do this. But that's the whole part of life. That's the great thing about this fan base, is this fan base has life experience. So you guys appreciate art differently than one would if art was constantly being put in front of you. If, you know, like that was like me, man. When I was growing up in Chattanooga, we had a museum and it was a lot of modern art. And so I saw a little bit of artwork. And a lot of the students I went off to college with, and this, I'm not knocking this, have been all over the world and seen pretty much everything. And they were really jaded. You know, maybe they had artists in their house, but I didn't have any of that stuff. And so I came into it, and any knowledge, any information was just gold to me. You know, I mean, I'd already done my first professional job when I went to college, but I didn't really have an art mentor at that point until I met Brian Stelfreeze, man. Yeah, Deep Thoughts with Jack Handey. I love those. What was my favorite one? Oh, yeah. Deep Thoughts with Jack Handey. You know, it takes a big man to cry, but it takes an even bigger man to laugh at that man. Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that stuff always makes me laugh, man. Yeah, happy little trees. That's the goal. Oh my Lord. Heaven help me. But yeah, I remember those. Those used to crack me up. There's very few of those you can actually probably say on a stream. Oh man. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I've got a wall of books over there, and in that wall of books are masterful, amazing artists who humble me when I'm working. You know, Mary Blair, Tyrus Wong, Sid Mead, Ralph McQuarrie, John Singer Sargent, Hayao Miyazaki. Let's see who else. Guillermo del Toro, Hergé, Iwerks. See who else I've got over there. I've got a ton of people. Mobius, Mark Schultz, Alphonse Mucha, Jeff Darrow, Dave Stevens, James Bama. Tons of books, man. Let me see here. Oh, my glasses just fell again. Oh, thank you. Nosferatu was gorgeous. Great storytelling and interiors, all hand-painted. Probably my favorite book. Oh, my God. Produced in the indie scene to date. You are... Oh, geez, Louise, Blue Boy Comics. Thank you so much. My God. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I am working on the taking of compliments, man. But that's an incredible thing to hear, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I would love to do a stream with Aaron Lopresti just talking about those kinds of creatures. Just talking about drawing them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know, like, maybe we draw our paint. I don't know how that'd even work. But he's just someone I know loves those monsters. But yeah, I'd love to do that kind of stuff too. And I do have an idea. It's just not going to be in this next book. But I do have an idea for that type of character. Like a Swamp Thing kind of character. But thank you so much, Blue Boy Comics. I really appreciate that. It's the next book is going to have some stuff in it that you guys are going to be excited. There's going to be new visuals, but also I'm really I don't want to say I'm raising the stakes per se, because the stakes are always relatively high in Nosferatu, but I'm broadening the language and including a character in there that is one of the best I've ever designed in terms of what his purpose is and his role in the narrative. So I think you guys are going to love it, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. You know, it's going to be great. Thank you again, Blue Boy Comics. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, I mean, working on those things, like one of the, there was a Man-Thing book that was illustrated by Kevin Nolan. And that thing is just the artwork that I saw was beautiful. His paintings were beautiful. I don't know much about the story. Like I didn't read the story, but it was beautiful. Because they have it in an artist edition, and it was crazy. What the heck was I about to paint? Oh yeah, now I know what I gotta paint. Yeah, so there's there's color pops with all of this stuff, and one of the color pops that I've been dying to get to is the where is it? Is it on here? Yep. Is this the orange of this orange yellow of this frog's eye? So that's one of the things I'm working on. You know, to see where that goes. Let's see here. Shanth will thankfully accept his award for best comic with some cheerleaders. That's right. There you go. I'm going to send a cheerleader for that. You're right. There haven't been a cheerleader in a while, so let's send one out here. Charge! Wow, I can't believe the cameras weren't switched, because sometimes that's the case when I play that stuff. Yes, Swamp Thing reigns supreme. You know what was interesting? Right, I know there's a big Man-Thing, Swamp Thing debate, and as far as I'm concerned, whenever that's the conversation, The winner is the fans, because we're talking about swamp creatures, so that's awesome. But I will say that the practical unused Man-Thing animatronic was incredible. And I really was impressed by the short-lived, I think it only got one season, Swamp Thing television show. I thought the effects for that were beautiful. The creature design and some of the action horror. I think it was the gentleman who did the Underworld movies? There's some great creature design in that stuff. Oh, no, that's fine. How are you doing, a guy in his room? This is for Michael Bancroft's The Lucent. Nosfero 2 is just now started. I've got... actually, let me put this eye down real quick, because I want to make sure I get this note down, because I wanted to make sure... Can you guys see that? Let me put this on in camera. I just bumped the camera there. So, this right here is a color pop I've been waiting to put down. And there'll be another little detail on top. But I want to make sure that it catches the proper amount of light. There we go. Now that's starting to sing. Do you guys see what I mean? You know, there's so much fun stuff with color. So yeah, this isn't for Nosfero 2. This is a commission for Michael Bancroft. I've got a commission for Eric Weathers for Battle Brick Road 2, but this right here is... Let me move this back. Sorry to do this the old-fashioned way. Let me zoom... Oh, no, I don't want to zoom in on myself. Oh, that was terrifying. Oh, man. There we go. I'm going to move that out. So this is the start of the cover for Nosfero 2, and here's a look at some of the characters that are going to... But you can't make them out yet, that are going to be in Nosfero 2. So, yeah. So this right now is for Michael Bancroft. This is for the Lucent. And then the other painting I have on my desk right now is for Battle Brick Road by Eric Weathers. And so this is my flying chimpanzees that just happen to be composed to give Thea Gale, the main character in Battle Brick Road. Watercolor paper can pick up all kinds of fuzz from the gloves I use. But this is the thing. Really wanted to create this Valkyrie look for this character, and so that's the thing we're working on. And it's going to be so much fun, all this stuff come together. And it's going to be a hell of an art book 3, because I have so much art now to put into art book 3 that shows all the work I've done, including all this stuff, the retrospectives. I'm going to have the sketch process, all of that stuff. But yeah, so this is for something for Michael Bancroft. The link's in the description for that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just took this hat out of retirement, or not retirement, but pseudo-retirement. It's freezing here. I'm in Lovecraft country, up in Rhode Island, and it is frickin' freezing up here right now. And I've been wearing my Comicsgate beanies out because it's been so cold. And then I wear this in the house because sometimes I still get chilly. But yeah, it does. It's funny, man. I started wearing these hats. The first time I ever bought one of these hats, here's a little funny backstory, was I was a big fan of the artwork that Jamie Hewlett was doing on Tank Girl. So I went into this comic book shop, and there was one of these hats, and it had Tank Girl written on the front right there, right? It was like this Tank Girl comic hat. And people knew because I think the movie came out eventually, or maybe it was around before or after, I can't remember. But I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I had this comic book hat on, and I'd wear it backwards. And it was so funny, but it was this kind of thing. And so I'd love to get my logo on the front of one of these hats at some point. Get a patch or something done. But yeah, I love that stuff. Yeah, there it goes, Battle Brick Road, guys. If you want that poster print when it's finished, it's going to be in the Battle Brick Road art print book. You can add that to your campaign purchase, and it's great. And Battle Brick Road, our goal is 40K by Eric's 40th birthday, which is fast approaching. So if you haven't backed it, please back it. And of course, awesome one dropping Michael Bancroft, the Lucent Painted Death link right there. And that's where you can keep up to date with wherever this thing is going to land, because right now it's just crazy. Oh, excellent. You backed Lucent. Yeah, Lucent's one of my absolute favorites. And thank you, Awesome One, for dropping links. And thank you, Hostman, for that wonderful reference. Yeah, Ride of the Valkyries intensifies. Yeah, that is... there's certain music and there's certain things you look at, when you're doing this kind of work. And for all of these pieces, if people ask, like, who is your biggest influence as an artist? Yeah, that's right. Technically, Tank Girl is a furry comic. True story, bro. You're right. You're right. Can't argue with that. And it's good to see you, my friend. How you doing? But my biggest artistic influence is Alphonse Mucha, the Czechoslovakian Art Nouveau genius is my biggest influence. And you can see that in my stuff. I saw his work for the first time in college, and I responded to it chiefly because of the line work, because at that point, I didn't know a thing about painting. Not a darn thing. And once I started learning how to paint, it just became a stronger and stronger influence in the stuff I was doing. And so that is how I got to where I'm at right now. Frank Frazetta has been a big influence for the last... when did I do my first art book? So probably 2016, 15, maybe like 16 and 17 is when Frazetta became a bigger influence on my stuff. Because again, I had to get to a certain level of painting before I could even contemplate what he was doing. And but Mucha is the biggest grounding agent of my stuff, is Alphonse Mucha's work. You know, and yeah, I love that guy's stuff, man. I love that guy's stuff. So let's see here. I got to move this light over so my hand doesn't create a shadow. Got to see if we're in frame there. And then let me give you some little detail here. Rotate the brush to get the hairs lined up. People wonder why we all have to wear glasses. You guys know. Hear my hand dragging against the paint. I'm like, usually it's smoother with watercolor paper. Hold up. Oh, did you guys hear that? That makes it easier. We are. What would Bob Ross say? 2 hairs and some air? That's all we're doing. 2 hairs and some air on this. There we go. Do you guys see what I mean? Let's take a look. Let's get a little closer here. Those little aspects of it are going to bring a lot to it. Oh, wow. Excellent. Yeah, great artist. Holy cow. Yeah. There's so much outstanding stuff out there. It's not just that he illustrated the first He-Man mini comic, which I remember. Dave Stevens did some stuff for the later stuff of that. It's also that it's really good. Yeah, that stuff is great. And you know what's interesting? I suggested you, Jose and Kenneth Roquefort. My gosh. Jose Garcia is doing a piece for Battle Brick Road 2. Yep, I saw that one. It's great. And I suggested him under one of Eric's tweets. That's awesome. When he was asking for artists. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah. Reading other mini comics that he didn't pencil is at times disappointing because his pencils were the best. Yeah. And yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, there's some great stuff out there. I'm looking at an artist who worked at the Disney Studios in France and then went into comic books, and he does some really great stuff. The Europeans do really amazing work. That's why I think it'd be cool. I know Michael's releasing a larger format hardcover option of the Lucent. I want to do that with No Sphero. It'll be a premium thing that will cost a little bit more if and when that happens. And I'd actually like to see a larger format, more bande dessinée size of CYBERFROG. That work is so detailed, it would be great to see it larger. It'd be fantastic to see it larger, actually. So yeah, that's on my wish list. Now I realize that Ethan has got a lot of stuff that he's doing right now. So yeah, I don't want to recommend one more thing because he has got so many amazing projects in the works. And I've got the links to the triple threat cover for or campaign that John Malin and Shane Davis and Ethan are doing. So if you haven't checked that out, the link is in the description. I think that's one of my favorite godlike pieces I've ever seen John do. That's my favorite version of the art I've seen of his character. It's just really great. It's a dynamite. Everybody did a dynamite job on their stuff, but I guess because we've seen so little of godlike, I didn't notice it. You know, I noticed it more. I didn't notice the others because I've seen so many CYBERFROG drawings, and they've all been great, man. But it's like there's tons. Let's see here. Classes fell again. Anyone looking to study color and light and painting, check out Nathan Folks. Very nice. He's a modern master of both. Why do I know that guy? Do I know him? Has many instructional videos, incredible draftsman, illustrator, and concept artist. I feel like I know this person. Reading other mini comics, cool. I got that one. Excellent, guys. Excellent. Yeah. Oh, my lordy lord. So I got to stretch my back out here. So thank you guys so much for popping in here for this early afternoon stream. It's been fun sharing this stuff with you guys. I have got to hit the grocery store and get some food. And do all this stuff, but this is where we are right now with the Lucent piece. Let me zoom. Let me move the camera way out so you guys can see this. We'll do a run through of all the paintings I'm working on right now. So this right here is the Lucent, for the Lucent by Michael Bancroft. So here we go. This is a complicated piece that can go in either, so it's sort of like a playing card. You can go in both directions. So there we go. And then, let me see if I can keep up with the chat here. There you go. Ciao, everybody saying hello, ciao, absolutely. Guys, take care. And then, you guys are very welcome, man. Oh, it's okay, don't worry about getting here late. I'm still let me wrap this up by showing this stuff first. This is a slightly larger look at the Nosfero 2 cover. Right there. This is the piece for Battle Brick Road 2. So there are the chimps. And this is all of the stuff. And that's the underpainting stuff right there. These are the transfers and all of the drawing. And then last but not least, just because I talked about it recently on Twitter, this right here. This is the poster print piece for Razorfist's Ghost of the Badland that he was kind enough to pose with his Bergman Model 3 for me. So this is for Ghosts of the Badlands. I'm going to be doing a lot of really cool, crazy stuff art-wise. And I should say, because I forgot to even show this today, and this is my comic book, Nosfero the Cryptwalker, which we are currently fulfilling and sending out now. It is a really, really beautifully printed book. Fully painted comic, and there will be a second chance campaign for it, but for those of you guys who are new to my stuff and haven't seen it, letters by the amazing Eric Weathers, the great Eric Weathers, don't get it twisted, and Lovecraftian sword and sorcery, old school pulp, which is my favorite genre. Lots of exciting and cool stuff are afoot in this comic, so thank you guys so much for being here. It is great to see you guys. Keep working hard. Keep doing all of the stuff that makes, being in this space wonderful. Keep up the enthusiasm and have a great rest of your Sunday. I'm going to go get some groceries, so take care, and I will see all of you guys soon. As always, if you are a channel member here, I am going to have the credits play for all of my channel members. You guys are in the credit. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And yes, indeed, Alvita Zane. Where does Double Impact continue? On Gabe's channel. That's where it's going to be. Later, guys, and be safe this snowy Sunday afternoon. Bye. Take care. Peace out. Green Laser. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yes, indeed. There will be more exciting stuff happening, so just stay tuned. Still want to be the #1 on the Second Chance campaign. No doubt you will be, my friend. So thank you, guys. As I always say, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and as always, guys, as always, peace. Because that's what the word Shanth means. That's what my name means. I will see you guys soon. Take care. God bless you. And have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.